Boom. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Today we have a very, very special rider. She comes from San Diego,
San Diego, California.
and she's a Strelita. And if you don't know it, Strelita is like a beautiful star, and in English and in Spanish. And she is a rider, a female rider, very strong rider. I have the pleasure to ride with her, and she can ride. And first of all, thank you for coming here. I think you're going to bring lots of positive things for the community villages, and we're going to talk about that. First of all, like always, present to everybody where you come from, what is your background, how do you start riding skateboards, mountain boards, for everybody to know you a little better.
That's a long story.
Take your time.
Okay, let's see. So, my name is Estelita. I am speaking to you all from San Diego, California, the United States. I very much love traveling whenever, however I can. Let's see, a little bit of background. I am currently, I guess in my personal life, doing my second year doctorate's program. Between cognitive neuroscience and architecture. And just to sum that up, because a lot of people are always confused about how that's possible, I'm trying to see how it is that we can use both interior and exterior architecture to help children with disabilities. So that's my long-term goal. So yeah, that's that. So ESK8, I started about, I would say, last year in May, I believe it was. I was seeing someone at the time who was very much into e-skate, and I wanted to spend more time with this individual. So I was told I wasn't allowed on any group rides or anything until I could go 20 miles an hour by myself. So I asked for a board, and I was like, all right, I got to learn. So I'd go to the park and I train myself and go as fast as I can, just 10 miles, 15 miles, 20 miles. And after I was able to do the 20 miles per hour, I was like, all right, I got this. I can go to group rides. And my very first group ride was actually with LAPEV in Los Angeles. And that's where I met Smalls and John and Hope and the LA crew, who actually, on that very first group ride, Hope, another female e-skater at the time, was telling me about the Sepulveda Dam, which is where people go to practice for racing and e-skate. And she was like, you're another female e-skater. You need to like try the T-track, and we need to get your times on the international marker, and you need to come out. And I was like, I just started. This is my first group ride. This is a lot already. I'll see if I can make it out. And yeah, sure enough, when I went into the dam, that's when I met Mario and Brandon Torgeson. People know him as Redbeard, Rux, and Ron, Fess. Mo was actually there, actually, on my very first time. And I got to meet all of them. I got to try the T-track, and I loved it. And I loved how much they were able to teach with so much patience and care and diligence. They'd break things down and walk me through the track and show me about apexes. And so I would keep coming on the weekly to train. So even though I'd be doing group rides in San Diego and every once in a while in LA, I loved coming to the dam. I just felt like I was able to keep pushing myself and challenge myself and learn as much as possible in those interdispute sessions. So since then, I guess 6 months later, after that, I had only been riding for 6 months, and I went to AVS for the first time. Got second place in podium, the open race with both male and female, and I was exhilarating. I loved it even more, and made me want to continue pushing my limits and learning from as many people as I can in that sport. Yeah, so there's that picture from that experience. But there's Hope, actually. So she's the one who is pushing me and telling me, like, you need to get in this. You need to go to intro to speed. You need to go to the dam. And John, which was like, he was the one who was saying always, if you don't push yourself and you're not falling, if you're not falling, you're not pushing yourself. So you need to fall a couple times to know that you're pushing your limit. That's
We're going to see. We're going to see about that.
yeah.
I just before you continue, I just want to say, guys, I'm sharing his Facebook and Instagram from her, and if you have the chance, go there, subscribe. She has lots of good videos. Falling too. We're going to show some of them because she is fast, and of course, if you write fast, sometimes it can happen.
I love falling. I really do love falling. I learned a lot. Like I watch my falls over and over again to see how it is that I can actually like change my positioning or my form or whatever it is. There's always a lot of learning to be done.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about that. But it's like this. You was talking about something that I think is important is how the people treat you from the moment you started riding. The beginning, the support, how they teach you, how they bring you. Do you feel like because I know that you are doing a lot for the females and doing for this sport. We're going to talk about that too. And I think it's important for everybody's coming. Share the video for everybody. I think that is important for us to show how she is doing lots of stuff to bring more ladies to this electro skateboards and mountain boards and to this sport. And I think you are going to push a lot. But in the beginning, when you start, do you feel comfortable riding with this? Like everybody, oh, that is a sport for men. That is not for ladies. How was the impact for you when you see they are trying to help you, pushing and trying to bring you back that you come next week? Not.
Yeah. So I personally am the type of person, when you tell me I can't do something, I
Mhm.
try to prove you wrong. So like, yeah, I have multiple experiences in the past, especially at work, where they're like, "That's almost impossible." Short example, like I was supposed to make a tiny like college conference for the school that's usually like 50 or so traditionally, but in the end, I ended up not making it a national conference, but an international conference with over 600 people coming up from literally
Wow.
different parts of the world. Like we had a professor from France, a professor from Africa. Like there were multiple individuals that came to this conference, not just as speakers, but actually people who participated. And all of our advisors were like, "You're just an undergraduate, small committee. Like, how are you going to make this possible?" And I created a group of 40 undergraduate students committee with 7 different subsections to break down this to
Wow.
be possible within a span of like 4 months. So I was like, "You're telling me it's not possible? It's possible. Like, we just need the manpower, and then we can make this happen."
Hmm. And
But yeah, oh, sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
please. And how do you see you now that you came? Not you are not so like you told you don't have so much years riding. Uh, how do you see in this 6 months that you started that you see okay I want to bring this sport, the person who helped me to come to this sport, now I want to help other. How do you see the transformation in this 6 months from today? And
Yeah. So I was definitely nervous because I was told that the reason why I
hi
needed to
Michelle.
go 20 plus miles an hour was so nobody else gets hurt, right? So we need to be careful and cautious and in our surroundings and make sure that everybody is safe. And always turn left, always turn right when you're riding. But even with the LA crew, although I didn't know people, they were looking at me ride and they were talking to me about my positioning, talking to me about like how my feet were placed and how I was riding, and even then giving me tips. So whether they were e-skaters, EUCers, they would always try and bring up additional opportunities to learn. And they were very helpful in various ways and very sweet about it and kind. And I remember somebody was giving me the tip of actually like recording. It's like, oh, if we record your positioning, you can see how you're doing your terms because,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is actually very important. When I first started learning, I actually didn't know that you can change bushings
Mm-hmm.
or that you can change, like tune your board or anything like that. So the reason why I actually ride low is because when I was teaching myself, I had to go down and grab the board to turn the board because the bushings were so tight.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that I could change the bushings and I can change the tuning or any of that. So I feel and always felt more comfortable going down on the board and turning the board with my hand, and I guess it's called grabbing rail.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that now when I'm going like 30 plus miles an hour, I still feel more comfortable going down and grabbing the board, even though I've now changed the bushings and know how to tune my board. It's when I like literally have timed myself. And it was actually at ESK8 with Brent. Brent actually was the one who was timing me. I wanted to know if I was faster going down or if I was losing time going down and grabbing the board versus just like bending my knees. And the difference was like minuscule, very insignificant. So I definitely feel more comfortable still to this day going down and grabbing rail versus just bending my knees, because that's just how I learned how to ride the board in the beginning.
Yeah, you have a way of riding very different than most of the riders, and I think that is not everyone rides like you. Uh, from the guys or from the persons that you ride till today, what was for you the person who give you this more inspiration or this style of riding, or was yourself who choose to ride like this in this position like you ride? You ride very low, very close to the deck, and let's change here very fast just for everybody to understand. And the way you ride very very different than lots of riders. Most of the riders stay completely up on the board, and you I like riding like this one. To carve, I think is better. uh, for you to today, I see like this is like the beginning for you today, riding like you ride your boards with bindings and without. Do you think it's better for you for your style of riding to have your leg that you cannot move, or you think you can ride in both situations in a board?
So we'll go back to a few questions that you
Uh-huh.
started with. So again, I originally started going down on the board because I had to pull the board in order to make the turns. But also I learned that I don't weigh very much. So even if I did change the bushings, I still felt like I had an easier time turning the board
Mm-hmm.
by grabbing rail. And it was in Intro to Speed, actually, with, again, Mario, Brandon, and Rux, who were teaching me about the bushings and the layouts. And it, if anything, that was the first time. We have a lot of goofy riders in San
Mm-hmm.
Diego, and that was the first time I had met standard riders, and I saw that their positioning was similar to mine, and so my turning, and so he would constantly see me fall and keep trying, and he would be like, "All right, do it again, do it again, do it again." Very serious, very straightforward guy, but super kind and sweet, and a great coach. So, if anything, I very much look up to him, and through this like whole learning process, he was the one I would go to.
So I don't have no problems to say I love Mario very much.
Yeah, I do. I love Mario too.
I think he's a crazy rider, and
Extreme.
not just as a skater, but today as a AUC, and he can go with the one wheel. I think he's very good with the sports,
Extremely.
and I think he's one of the guys who push a lot the sport in LA. He's a very quiet and very simple person. I have the pleasure to interview him here, and he the beer, red beer, is a guy very very good. I think he was the one who pushed Mario to this sport more, and seeing so many friends coming together and helping so much persons, and then you have uh, Justin, then you have Smalls, that everybody don't understand. Smalls is one of the most important persons in LA. Maybe sometimes he's in the back taking pictures of everyone,
He
and
does.
it's not easy for you to be in the back and shows the other persons who riding, and nobody is talking about him, but for him is important, for him is the community. And I have the pleasure to interview him here 2 times, and I love him, and I think he's one of the persons who put the LA skates on the top today. He is in the LA PVs for different opinions. I think he's doing a fantastic job, and everybody is there are doing a lot for the community. And having you there today, pushing in San Diego, and before we go to LA, but I want to speak about where you come from. Is lots of riders? Where are you from, or is not so easy to find skate riders in San Diego?
Yeah, we have a pretty good community that's called San Diego ESK8 or STE
Mm-hmm.
and they're huge. I mean, right now with the Facebook count, I think we have over 1,000 individuals in
Mm-hmm.
our Facebook page. They're an amazing community, and there's constantly rides going on at least 2 or 3 times a week. And our sponsors, we have Eric here from Shred
Mm-hmm.
Lights, so he sponsors a lot of rides as well. We have
Eric is a fantastic person.
extremely sweet and kind individual. Yeah. So he comes out to the rides too. Not only does he sponsor, but he's always there making sure that everybody has what they need for each of the
And he
rides.
has good lights. I have from the first
Yeah, he has really good nights.
I have from the first ones, and today they are working. And of course, I have to say that what you said is fantastic, Eric, from Shrek Lights. Shrek Lights is a fantastic light, but he's first of all a rider, and second of all, he makes product for all of us, and he support the events. It's not easy to have a guy who supports so much events like him. And I know
Right.
him from so many years. I have the pleasure here to interview him too, and it's not easy just for a company to make so much stuff. And don't forget that USA is big, very
Yeah,
big,
very
and
big.
he's helping here in Europe in some events too, uh,
Right.
in the best way he can, because it's not easy
Of course.
for a
Of course.
company. Uh, do you see the day that you are more involved of this, that is something that you're going to in the future? We talk in private and we have to talk about that. Do you see the future, like today we have the ESK8 we have lots of events in Europe that you was here, we're going to talk about that too. And do you see that the electro skateboards or mountain boards uh, is going to grow again, because was losing the place for the UCs, for the one wheels? You see that
Oh,
now they are going coming again up.
there's definite growth. There's a lot of growth coming up. And I think we were talking a little earlier about how, at least for myself, I've been very adamant about helping out the females in the community get introduced to Eastgate because, from what I've heard, a lot of females don't feel comfortable being in a male dominated sport. So something I've been able to do since like last year, I think May of last year,
Mm-hmm.
I made a ladies ride, senoritas. They call it the senoritas ladies ride,
Mm-hmm.
to try and get girls to come out and into the sport and try out the e-skating. So I made it a beginner's ride. Yeah, that's all of them. There was even somebody who was in a cast. Her name is Shannon. So she's right in the middle with like the white shirt. So she had just finished her surgery a couple. I don't know if it was days ago or a week ago, but she sat down on the board and did the entire ride sitting down. So Shannon was someone I aspired to. She's really sweet, really great. But yeah, I would meet with these girls individually. Yeah, that's the whole group. I had the guys wearing all black and all the girls wearing vibrant colors. I said, all right, ladies, come out and wear your colors and be proud. And the guys that come support, like, wear all black so that the girls stand out in the media. But prior to this ride, I'd individually meet with each of the girls. Um, yeah, a colorful skirt. I'd meet with each of the girls to see what their pace was, whether they were comfortable going 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour, 15. I'd do intro to speed sessions for them so they can try and get comfortable on the board and different boards. So we'd bring like a variation of boards for them to try out. Um, and we had a variation of ages as well. So we had extremely young ones in their teens, and then people that are up to like their 30s and 40s, that are adamant about trying it out. This is like Melissa right here. She's a beautiful example of someone that was afraid of getting on the board. Like she's Life of Jimmy. I don't know if you've interviewed him yet, but that's his wife, Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been watching Jimmy for years. And wanted to try the board now. And I was like, girl, you can do it. If he can do it, you can do it. So let's do this together. And so she came out to these inter-dispute sessions when they first started. And just this like last weekend, she was at AVS racing
Mm-hmm.
and ended up getting podium in third place. So I'm extremely proud of her. Even though she fell, she, had different people from our team pushing her to keep going. And she did. And originally, she was very, very much afraid of coming back to the track. She would tell me,
Mm-hmm.
this might be my last one. But after the race, she was like, I'm just kidding. I really like this. Let's keep going. So I was like, yes, yes, we got another one. uh, yeah, so each of these girls come out like every single week to try and learn more and more. And they get faster and faster. Every single one of them. Like I love how much they keep growing. This is Jess, for example. She started off, with this meeple board, and
Mm-hmm.
she's going now a constant 30 plus miles an hour on the whatever board that she's riding. And one intro to speed, she was trying out a stooge board from one of the boys that came out to support, and she was booking it. So people watch out for this one. Like she's gonna be going real fast, real quick on the track. And yeah, that's just me out there on the intro to speed. But there's so many more girls coming out into these intro to speed events, and I hold them every Tuesday here in San Diego. We even had somebody coming in from like San Francisco and other areas from the East Coast who have heard about my ladies intro to speed events
Mm-hmm.
to support. And more importantly, actually, every week, both Mario and Rux have been coming down from LA and laying out the tracks for the ladies, doing different drills for them. So it's been really nice to have the support from the Intro to Speed, CEO Mario. Every Tuesday for the last like month and a half, he's been coming down and laying out the track for them. So that's been extremely sweet of them to be supporting us as well.
It's not
And
easy. It's not easy to have people who love this sport and are always prepared to help, to not stop this sport. And we have to say we need these persons, and it's important for us to have. I'm more a community guy, you know that. I think we need more. How can I explain? We need more persons like you. I understand what we talk in private, and I would love to see more ladies like you with your inspiration and desire to bring the sport to the top. And what we speak in private, I think, is important. What is the next step for you? What you love to do for grow this for the ladies? I was talking to you in private. Do it just for the ladies, not with men's. Then you came. No, we have this idea. We put the men's in black and everything, because we was talking about the one wheelers. That there is a big group of ladies today, and they started very small. I think it was 10 or 12 ladies, and today there are more than 100. And every year they make this event that they come 1 week together, all of them, and they make a big event. And I was talking, what is the idea of the future? What you love to see in the future? What is your desire? What is your plans? What you are planning for the future for these beautiful ladies? We need ladies.
yeah. Yeah, well, like I said, this was just in May, this first Senoritas ride, and I'm hoping to make it a yearly ride where like it's not just e-ski, right? We also have one wheels, EUCs, bikers coming out, and making sure that the girls feel comfortable and safe, right? And that's the most important thing for me is they keep telling me how they prefer to, go at a slower pace. I was like, all right, let's orient whatever we need to do to make sure your needs are tailored for. So just um, talk to me, whatever it is that you need. Give me some ideas, and like it's not about me, right? It's about them. It's about the
Mm-hmm.
females being comfortable and coming out. And then we've had people literally come down giving girls rides to
Mm-hmm.
these events, just for them to try it out. And once they do, that they love it. And we make sure that if the guys do come out, right, like our advanced riders division, if the guys come out and support, we have like two separate tracks. So the fast crew goes on the fast track, and then
Mm-hmm.
the ones who are starting off, who's their first or second intro to speed, they go on the second
Mm-hmm.
track. I think it's the other track. So we have two separate tracks, but depending on where they are on their speeds. But in the future, like we're already starting it, right? At AVS, we had a women's division.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Oh, that is beautiful.
it was great. It was amazing. We originally had, I think, five females that had registered to race, and that wasn't even including me because I'm
Mm-hmm.
currently like recovering from a concussion, so I
Mm-hmm.
haven't been riding for the last month or so.
It was
Um,
difficult for you not have the
Difficult
chance
to not
to ride
ride. I
there.
mean, it gave me the perfect excuse to spend more time with the girls and train the girls and be like, all right, I can't be on the track, so y'all need to be on the track for me. um, I loved
Was
it.
difficult, huh?
It was, but I got to support them. I got to help them and guide
Mm-hmm.
them and give more time to them, which is what,
Mm-hmm.
again, I think is more important. And it just lined up beautifully. And I got to help out Mo, right, at AVS. And that was something amazing because I had never done something like that before. And it was a learning experience, a beautiful learning experience. And more importantly for them, because honestly, like I was just so proud to see them, pass one by one and getting on that track and getting more time and being excited about how much faster they were on the track every time they went around the laps. So it was
Like
good.
you, like we are talking, we are seeing from 21, 22. Now that we coming to a 23, and we see how that race started and what is today. I was seeing the videos from before, when the beginning was close to nobody there, just Mario, the group from Mario, from Moe and everything. That then comes some people. Then now you are seeing this three what's the name, this a scooter try trial. What's the
Yeah,
name with three wheels?
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Mo told me the name, but I don't know. They are so fast, and then you see the AUCs that have different categories now. They are not just going for one category, and then now you are seeing the skateboards like ladies, not so fast boards, very fast boards. Uh, for you seeing this helping that organize, and the important thing that we have to be very important thing is what this guys, there is a team now working in USA making all the videos and creating the lives for all of us. That was something that we was not prepared for 3 years to see live. Today we have a big team who are doing a lot for the PVs in USA, and they are creating most of the lives, and it's not easy to put everything together: drones, videos, live streams and everything is not easy, and in a place that was in the middle of the desert. I think the internet was not the best one for
Yeah.
us to have it, but they achieved that, and I think that is a big push for the sport, because sometimes people don't like to see videos, but when it's live, they're going to see the competition. And how do you see this year, this competition that you was helping there? How do you see the person who was there from different parts of USA? What was the difference from this event and the ESK8? How can you describe the two of them, the difference between one and the other?
Okay, well, first of all, random fact, I'm actually from the desert, so that's actually
Mm-hmm.
my hometown. So my parents literally live like
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes from the track. And so they were
It's
actually
easy.
there, like hanging out as well.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that was just a random fact. I would say the biggest difference was definitely the weather. I think it was really huge because it's an open track in the middle of the desert, like you said. So there were literally on Saturday, the winds were about 15 to 20 miles an hour, but on Sunday, they were about 30 miles an hour. So the riders had to not only worry about the track and, the different elevation levels on that track, but also the wind coming in and going against them as they were coming through. So the very first time that I raced at ABS, I had to be careful of coming back up from when I was grabbing rails. So as I was going down, as
Hi,
soon as I
Ralph.
started coming up, well, hi, Ralph. As soon as I started coming up, the wind would push me and push me off my board. So I had to angle myself differently, change my form to make sure I stayed on the board and the wind didn't completely just blow me off. Whereas in ESK8, you're in the middle of a city. The winds, you're not fighting the winds, you're fighting the space on the track. So ABS is this really, really like spacious track where you could probably have comfortably 2 or 3 riders next to each other, just riding down the line, versus ESK8 where you can barely fit 2, especially if they're trying to pass. So if you have a good line at ESK8, it's really hard for somebody to pass you, versus an ABS, even though you have a good line, somebody can have another one just as good behind you and easily pass you. So I felt like speed was something more to focus on in the ABS track versus
More
the technical
technical.
one in ESK8, right?
You see the finals, so like in ESK8, Mario tried to pass, and it's difficult for you to pass. You have to be very, 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 and has to be everything perfect, or it's very difficult for you to pass it.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
something that for you, that you've been here in Europe, you know that the guys like Czech Republic, they has a different system. You
They
was
do.
with the guys from ONSA too, and they do not like a race. They do like left times. Who gets the best time wins. How
Right.
was for you to see one system and another system? You was easy for you? What was for you the best? What did you think? The two of them work for you? How was your opinion seeing the USA style, because you was in ESK8, and then you come to Europe, and then you come back again to USA? How do you see the? You think that is different? Do you think that can maybe in USA use this system, or maybe Europe? How do you see it for you as a
Well,
rider?
yeah, to elaborate a little bit for both parties. So in the US, the way that people are running, we don't actually have a device that tracks time, right? So everything is individually handmade and hand held. So we have stopwatches and timers for every individual lapper that comes in. They have a designated timer, and those times are written down, right? So points coming in, everything is all in paper and pencil, traditional. That's how it's done in the U.S. At least in the 2 races that I've been on with ABS and ESK8. Well, I guess in additional to this ABS this year. But with in Europe, they have an automated system where every individual rider is given um, a specific
Amazing.
device that's placed on your board. So your board or your EUC or whatever device it is that you have, and as soon as you pass, it automatically tracks your time, and then it anybody can see it, so it's live. It tracks you and your position and your lap times, how many laps you've done, how fast you were, your fastest lap time. And so yeah, they use that at the Onster event, and they use that at the Czech Republic event
Mm-hmm.
where I did the race. So that was one of the biggest differences in
X race.
technology. Yeah, X-rays. Yeah. And I thought, in addition to that, actually, with with X-rays, you're not racing everybody else on the track. You're essentially racing yourself, because
Mm-hmm.
they're tracking your time. So you do 3 laps on your
Mm-hmm.
toe side and then 3 laps on your heel side. And they essentially take your best 2 laps and they drop your lowest lap. So you're not that intensity, I guess, that I feel when I'm at ABS or ESK8, where I see the person in front of me and I can actually
Mm-hmm.
pass them. I'm like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
they're really close, so maybe I can push myself a little more. That's different, because in an IXI race, I was just pushing myself. Like, all right, I'm gonna try to do a better line this time, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try and go a little quicker around this turn or do a
Mm-hmm.
tighter turn. So I was essentially racing myself at
Mm-hmm.
IXI race and didn't have that external rush from
Mm-hmm.
racing everybody else on the track. So that was very interesting.
So for me personally, I like to race against persons. I think that is make my adrenaline on the top. But I respect the style they make in Europe because is another way of doing. They something they created is working well. I was talking with David about 2 days ago, and he was showing me the new system. What they're going to put now is improved and is going to be better, and I think it's going to be very good. We will see because we have the community. The community is working a lot. The DIYs they are always improving, and that is no mistakes. It's not easy when you make be on a track and you have something in your leg, and then if you have a lap that there is a person in your front, you have just 3 laps that you can do it. And if there is somebody who falls or something that happens, so is the 3 laps is over. You don't have no chance anymore.
Yeah.
And the racing for me is more this fun that you have to push yourself to the limits or you don't have no chance. But that is styles I respect. I think that is beautiful to happen. Do you think seeing these sports and seeing this different styles, do you think we're going to see in the future is always this stupid thing that the USA against Europe. Do you think in the future we're going to have more competitions? I'm always this guy. I love to see these guys from USA and ladies and boys to come race here against the Europeans, and I would love to see the Europeans go there and race against. In ESK8 was a bunch of European riders there, and the 2 Davids, one from Denmark, one from Czech Republic. That was Tom from UK, and then was Tilo. There was lots of people riding there. Do you think that is something that we're going to see in the future?
Yeah, so I was actually talking to David Pilney about that when I was in Prague with them when I was
Mm-hmm.
racing. I was seeing how much he was doing. And I was like, is it just you who's running this? Like why are you putting so much time and effort? Do you not have a team to help you out? He's like, oh, but I like this. Like I'm racing, I'm doing the time, I'm doing like I felt so bad for him. I was like, you need an assistant. Like this can't just be you, especially when it keeps growing, because it is going to keep growing, in my opinion. Right? We were talking about the website and how it can be easily accessed for people who are registering. Because there's even people like Hansa in
Mm-hmm.
Prague who has not a business, but like a school where he's teaching people how to e-skate as well, and he lets people borrow boards. So there was somebody from the Netherlands who wanted to race and was able to like get one of these boards from this individual as they were traveling. So having that connection, having that community wherever you go, like even me who was traveling from the US, anywhere I went, somebody was willing to like let me borrow a board. Somebody was willing, like Mike, he was able to like let me borrow or I guess Mikael from
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
let
have
me
to put it.
borrow his board, like X-Way Pro to race. And Tila let me borrow his board when I was at the campsite with the
Mm-hmm.
Apex crew. So everywhere, no matter where I was in literally 9 different countries this summer, somebody was sweet and kind enough to let me borrow a board or some kind of PEV vehicle. But talking to them, connecting with them, and telling them I'll be like at ESK8 I already know at least 6 of the guys from Europe who are coming for ESK8 and they already booked their tickets and they're going to be coming out and I'm excited to see them. And so having more events like ESK8 where it's like an international location where we can all reconnect is a
Mm-hmm.
safe space for people to come down and have fun. So I definitely see the sport growing because the technology itself is growing as well, right? There's new individuals, new writers coming out, new stage writers, new things in the works that I'm not going to talk about, but there's definitely new things in the works, and people are excited about that, and their builds are coming out as well with different parts. So
So we was talking in private. I would love to. I'm going to change here something, and I want to show something. Before I change it, how do you came to Europe? Why? How that happened?
Yeah, okay, so that's in New York.
I know, I know. I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it then. I'm waiting just for you
No, no,
to.
no, no worries. Yeah, Orlando was a huge,
Mm-hmm.
huge help with like literally exploring New York
Mm-hmm.
because that was another day where it was supposed to rain and we had a group ride set, but everybody was afraid of the rain. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'm not going to be afraid of the rain. So let's go out. And it never ended up raining. So Orlando and I ended up having our own group ride through the city and just riding out. And
I
he's
love
like,
the way you write. Believe it or not.
thank you. Yeah. So anyway, so I originally um, wasn't supposed to go to Europe. I was told by my brother that he had an Airbnb in Boston. His like client canceled on him or something, so he wasn't going to go. So he's like, I have 1 week in Boston booked in Airbnb if you want to go out there and just explore the East Coast. I hadn't been to the East Coast ever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, I'm down. So I went to Boston. Um, I hit up some friends from New York and New Jersey. Um, and Eastgate Unity actually told me that he had a board for me to ride. He's like, hey, you're over here on the East Coast. Let me give you a board. Let me get you a helmet, and you can ride. And I was like, well, I didn't bring any gear. I have like 1 week's worth of stuff, but sure, yeah, why not? So I went out to New York and New Jersey. I stayed with a friend of mine from my master's program in
Mm-hmm.
architecture. She was an architecture friend, but she let me stay in her home for about a month while I was in the East Coast, and I was riding out. And while I was in the East Coast, um, I was told that there was a housing situation in London where I could stay for free in London for 2 months from this other friend. And I was like, all right, I'm going to London, I guess. And conveniently, there was a writer in New York who was going to London the exact same weekend I was. His name is Jamie. And so Jamie told me about electric mountain boarding, and he's like, "There's a camping trip with the Apex crew. Yeah, that's them. That's Tilo. If you want to come mountain board with us, you should come out this weekend." And I was like, well, it's my first weekend in London. I have nothing planned. Let's do it. So I show up. Tilo picks me up, and we start driving from London up to the UK to meet these amazing guys that I've never seen anything like this, right? I've only been exposed to street riding, city riding, and they just go off trail, off roading. And they were just amazing. They baffled me, and again had boards for me to try. So as they were doing all of these crazy jumps with bindings, I was on this like Escape, yeah, the Escape Pro. So they were doing all these crazy tricks, and here I am just trying to catch up with them and riding out with the cows and the grasslands and the forests. And I was just having the time of my life out there because I'd never ever been exposed to any of this, and it was out in nature. Like I love nature so much, and being out there with like the trees and the animals and combining, two things that I love and am passionate about with Eastgate and nature, that was just perfect because we weren't, going against cars and traffic or pedestrians. It was just us with Mother Nature hanging out and having fun and uh,
It
just
was
doing our thing.
beautiful.
It was
It's a
amazing.
beautiful country. For everybody who don't understand, lots of these guys has the background. They started with no motors. They started just riding mountain boards that is going downhill. Then you have the brake hand. There is a brake that you make like a bicycle, and then comes this electro, and lots of them they are using today. And in UK is very strong because of the Apex boards, and there is the tramper boards. They are very active, and to have the chance to ride with these crazy guys is not easy. They are very crazy. They are very crazy, and I was the when you came to this beautiful country, do you expect this to happen?
Not at all. I mean, like I said, like I had nothing planned whatsoever. I was in New York. I met these amazing, like their community, right? The PEB community. I wasn't planning on that at all. I had just planned 1 week in Boston. That's all I packed for. That's probably why, like, you see me in all of these videos with like no gear. I didn't
Uh-huh.
have any gear. In that camping trip, Jamie was the one who bought me the helmet, and that's the one helmet that I've been taking with me everywhere I go, like through the entire European trip. I have that one Apex helmet
Mm-hmm.
sticker because That's the only gear that was consistent with me. Everywhere else, it's like everything was too big. Everything was too big. I'm a tiny person, and none of the gear fit me from what people would bring out to try and help me out. But yeah, from that camping trip, I ended up. Tilo actually was the one who introduced me to the people in Czech Republic, to
Mm-hmm.
the people in Germany. You, that's where I met you. We started riding out. Um, like I said, we visited 9 different countries. We ended up going to Switzerland to meet Fabian from Anzer as well. Like I've known him for years, but I've never come to Switzerland to see him. So I always ride with Fabian in LA or here in California. But this time it was like his crew. Oh yeah, us in the rainforest again. Very very beautiful. But they find these places out in nature and they just go at it like
Mm-hmm.
2, 3, 4 feet in the air doing crazy tricks. But it was 3 beautiful days with each of them, going out and trying out these boards that I
But
had.
for you, trying this sport
Mhm.
and having your feet that you cannot move it,
Yeah,
we have the pleasure to ride with you. I have the pleasure to ride with you in one very very wet day here,
yeah,
and
very muddy. Yeah,
Tilo and you was with flat tires.
yeah. Okay, he had
Later,
a flat tire. I broke my belt.
yeah,
I
yes, of course. Yes, sorry. How was for you? Was easy for you to go for your having your feet free, and then of one moment to another, have you know that you're not going to move your feet anywhere. You cannot take it. If you fall, you have to take the board with you.
Right. So I learned that here in this camping trip, right? Because prior to this experience, I only ever had the one binding, which
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to answer that question. It definitely does help me with turning on the track, having that
Mm-hmm.
one binding. But here, not only do you have that front strap, but you also have the back strap for your
Mm-hmm.
heels. Originally, I was very nervous about having both the front and the back straps, but I learned that it's actually a lot easier. To ride and be comfortable
Mm-hmm.
doing the off-roading because you feel more stable
Mm-hmm.
versus when I tried to do these jumps with like the X-Way Pro without the
Mm-hmm.
bindings, I would just fall off the board. So I couldn't stay. I couldn't continue those jumps. Um, there's actually there's a reel in my profile where I'm doing
Wait a second. We can
oh, go
change
ahead.
it very fast. So let's go to your profile.
I think
ESK8
no,
Europe.
the reels.
Huh? The
The reels.
okay reels.
Yeah. And then right there on the right, one more, that
This
one.
one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So right there is a perfect example of where the first try was without bindings and the board kind of just goes
Uh
off.
huh.
And so I was like, well, let me try this with bindings.
Mm-hmm.
So I failed, but later on I was able to stay. So the board doesn't just run off on you, you kind of stay with it. And you just kind of got to learn to balance with the
Mm-hmm.
bindings. Because if you're trying these jumps without the bindings, the board kind of just keeps going.
Yeah.
But once you accommodate to it, you're able to go
Come
higher.
on, we see you right here with us. Was everything wet? Till was having problems, and we all of us was with you. Everybody was like, "Wow, she can ride," and she was.
Yeah, I don't mind getting dirty and getting muddy at all. Like when you're riding, you're there to
Yeah,
have
yeah,
fun.
that
So
was fun.
that
That
was
was very
great.
fun. That
Yeah.
was
And I've also learned to not be afraid of accelerating instead of braking because I learned if
mhm.
I start braking too soon, I end up falling. Versus if I just accelerate and push through, like it's a lot more likely that I'll make the jump if I just push through.
We're just going to put something here very fast before for everybody to understand. One, that
Uh,
is just some 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I really, really do enjoy falling. I
Then you see she riding. She can ride. What is for you today? If you have, do you have a special board that you say, I like this style of board for me, or you are a person who love all types of skateboards, mountain boards. You are a person that are in love with all of them, or there is something specific that you are more that you say that this is the one I like to have every day. Because
Well,
you try a lot.
I did try a lot of boards out there.
You try it a lot.
It
Most of
was
the people, I think, they never try it so much trucks, so much decks, so much tires. You tried most of them.
yeah, I mean, my home board that I've had since day one is called the Super Beast. I love that board like crazy. It's a board that has been with me that I started learning from, or racing with. I think that if you go back to the posts, um,
To which ones?
the publications,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
the second, third, I guess third one
Third
up
one,
there.
this one,
Yeah, the
this
third.
one.
No, with the pink.
Oh, with the pink. With the pink.
The so there's one, two, three with the pink armor, the Beyond Riders gear.
This one. This here.
No, one up, up, and then to the right. There
This
you go.
one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so that was my first AVS right there. So that's a good picture of the Super Base. So that is my daily commuter board that I love very much. And like I said, I'm doing my doctorate. So I teach at the University of California, San Diego, and then I do my research at the Salk Institute here
Mm-hmm.
in San Diego. So I'm always going back and forth between the two institutions, depending on like which day I'm doing what work. So this is very light, very fast, very convenient for me to be carrying around and moving around with. So I love this board on a daily here in San Diego, and I maintained it on a monthly. So there's a shop here in La Jolla with Ray Belden, and I go in once a month to make sure to maintain the wheels, oil it up, grease it
Mm-hmm.
up, tune it as needed. And I haven't had to replace any major parts to it for, I guess, the last year and a half. Like the batteries are still going. Um, Everything's really good. From people are saying like I'm really lucky and I'm a unicorn or whatever because I haven't had to replace a lot of things, but they're they've been extremely helpful, both Jason and Melissa, with anything that I've ever needed, like new tires for the racing, a new deck if needed, just to replace it. But yeah, no, I love this board. Even though I was out abroad, trying out, like you're saying, all these other
Mm-hmm.
boards. They have their pros and cons, right? So I wouldn't be taking the Super Beast off road because it has very low clearance. So it's very much a street board in comparison to mountain boarding. So if you saw like the most like recent reel where we're out in the mud, there's a lot more clearance. So I feel like there's pros and cons for every board that you choose from and benefits depending on where you're going. So I'm actually working on building a mountain board right now. So I can go off terrain again here in the States because I loved it so much while I was doing it out there in Europe. So I'm working on building a off-roading mountain board just for the fun of it, actually. Um, but the four-wheel drive was a lot of fun. The X-Way Pro, the NASA version that I got to race, because that one was something that was both for the race track, so street riding, in addition to like off-roading. So I remember one day I was Hansa, Mikael, and we would go off to some forest and ended up just like deep diving into the river because we were able to ride out to the middle of nowhere and just like have fun in the water. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, so street riding and then mountain riding and then go back to the streets, which was really cool.
So you have the opportunity to ride with the new ONSA boards. What was the experience for you?
That was fun. I was not expecting that at all. Yeah, so we were in Germany and I was like, "Hey Fabian, I'm here in Europe. Like I know you come to
Hilo.
LA, like, of course." And I was like, "Let's like are you available to like hang out?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm in Switzerland. Come down and like I have some boards for you to try out." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, let's do it." So yeah, Tila and I ended up going down to Switzerland, and Thomas was conveniently there that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he was like, "All right, let's go out on a trail and try these boards out." And I was like, "Yes, oh my god!" So I loved riding out there because again, we're in nature. We're going through villages. This isn't even a city at all. There's not a city for miles,
Mm-hmm.
right? it's the first time I learned actually that there's like towns where they like are only open, restaurants are only open during the day and the
Mm-hmm.
evening. They close during like the middle of the day
Mm-hmm.
because they want you to spend time with your family. Um, and yeah, no, Fabian was extremely accommodating, very kind, and just wanted to drive us everywhere and hang out with us and show us his studio and his space and his shop. So that was a
That
ton
was
of
a relaxed day.
yeah. I was very tired from traveling when we were there
Uh-huh.
in Germany, and I was
You
like,
travel a lot.
can we just have a chill ride?"
Uh-huh.
I was asking for a chill ride, and you're like, "Yeah, we can have a chill ride." Wait, you're sitting? What are you doing? And I was like, "I don't want to ride epically. I just want to chill and sit on the board and enjoy the cruising." I know you were making fun of me, but I just wanted to sit. I was so
No,
tired.
I was enjoying. I think that is very important. You have to write the way you like it, and that was a very. I knew that you guys was tired because so many miles that you made, so many you was not stopping. You was in Paris. You was. That's why we're going to come to. I think is this one. This one is a little of the story that you made uh,
For
this year.
Europe, the
Yeah.
Europe one is the first one, the Skate Euro.
Okay, let's
Yeah, that
start it
one.
from this. Then tell us a little what happened in this. Let's see, it's going to take a little. Yeah.
So yeah, that was me from New York to London when I was first flying out, and I was like, all right, it's time to go hang out. That's when I first met Tilo, and we were heading out to the camping trip at Bugs Boarding. From there, I saw this ridiculously cool place where there was.
Before we continue, I just want
Yeah,
to say something here
go ahead, go
because
ahead.
of Tilo. Tilo is a fantastic rider, and somebody here. Let me see if I can stop this. So somebody here tell something, and I forgot to said. We talk about Europe against USA and Asia. They are very good events, very good races. And I think that is a good thing for us to have Asian in a plan, like 3 or 4 categories: Europe, USA, uh, Asia. They are very fast and the events are very good. Till is one of the fastest riders I've seen. He loves this sport. He's very quiet. Nobody knows nothing about him, but he's a great rider and he loves this sport. And in Asia, if you guys have the chance, I can leave some links here and go there and see how they make the events. Lots of them is made by the X-Way and by the MIPO. They support this events, this race, but the important thing is somebody is uh, putting a fair, taking care of the community. And I think the Asia guys, they are very fast too. And nobody's talking about them, but they are very fast. So now, come back in to the start. I like to say because I love Tilo. Tilo is a fantastic person and he has a big heart. So
He's also
please.
not afraid of falling. I feel like I have more falls of him than I have with myself. Because he pushes the limits too. So if he sees
Yeah.
a ramp, he'll just go
Oh,
walk
we are
it.
talking about him. Look who is here. Hello,
Oh, did you
Tilo.
go? Oh, hi, Tilo.
We was talking about him and he said, dude. Oh, yeah. Please. I'm going to
Oh no, I
go
mean
back.
this is just going through the European
Mm-hmm.
trip itself, right? So started off in London, went to mountain boarding, um, and yeah, this is where I was like, what are we gonna do with all of these ramps, all of these toys? Like, what is going on here? Because I've never seen anything like this before. So I was excited through that trip to first of all get exposed to mountain boarding, and try it out myself, right? So we went through this reel already about how I was first trying it out with just that was my first day there. I was like, I want to try this ramp. Okay, bad idea. Okay, this is clearly not the board to use. I need bindings. Um, but I met Nathan, right, that day, and I was like, "What is this guy doing? He doesn't even have, like, motors or anything." So I'd see him out there, and I'd see these boards with no motors, and I was like, "This is what mountain boarding is. This is how it started," and that's how I learned about the roots of electrical mountain boarding, because, like you said, prior to adding those motors and batteries and all of that. It was just a board on wheels with bindings and having fun with it. So like these guys all have that background of mountain boarding and then decided to work with, the Apex crew to try and add those motors. So I remember some of the guys like Elan was asking Nathan for tips and tricks on how to do this. And later on, actually, after the summer, he ended up racing as well.
Was your biggest group ride
This one was my
off-road?
biggest group ride. Yeah, my first group ride off road. So I'm just standing there and they're doing all these crazy tricks in like the middle of the dirt, and I was like, "What are these guys doing? They're gonna like they're crazy." That was my first thought. I was like, "They're just jumping in the middle of the dirt," but this looks so cool. And so I slowly was trying to get the courage to do it myself as they were going through it. And I ended up asking them if I could borrow one of their boards, and they're like, "Yeah, for sure." And then started trying it myself. So that was a lot of fun. And then that's when I started feeling like I need to like make my own. And yeah, sure enough, actually going back to Tilo, he had some parts he would let me build one. So we built an electrical mountain board when we got back to London, and so that was something that we started riding every once in a while. I was back at the camp. We saw little tiny baby frog.
Wow.
Super cute.
Little, they are very little.
Yeah, they're super tiny. They were in the tents actually. So we woke
Ah,
up and then they were inside the tents. It's really cool. Oh, and then I learned that this is how they practice their balance. So
mhm.
these guys are in the mornings, they'd bring this out to start working out on this balance beam. That's Jamie. So he's the one I met in London, or in the New York, and told me about this
Uh-huh.
camp trip and invited me to this campsite with the Apex crew. And they were all just doing silly things. It
Yeah,
was
but
just,
it's nice. But you
well, yeah,
understand
it's,
it.
it's their morning workout. They're,
You have to have good legs.
yeah, you do, and good balance. Really,
Uh-huh.
really good balance.
I was in Portugal, and there was not. This is just a round, and in Portugal there was with a ball in the middle.
Mhm.
That was difficult, and you have to put your gravity in the center. If you just turn a little, was just losing. Going here off-roading.
Off-roading. Off-roading. That was the second day of off-roading, and we were in the grasslands. And it was Lee who said you've never experienced anything
What
like
you
this
was
before.
riding, Mipo, or you was
So that
riding
was the X-Way Pro.
X-Ray Pro? Okay.
X-Way Pro. Yeah.
Do you like the four motors?
It's very powerful. You can really push through some of like the biggest, like most difficult terrains like that. I was like, what? Can I make it? Yes, I can. But again, it's about pushing through and not like actually braking. You just got to accelerate through it. So having those four motors gives you that additional power to actually like push through it. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so
that's
it was
really
again, very, very beautiful. We
a
did
lot, huh?
a
That's good.
bunch of boards. It's Lee. It's all of them going with their
And
IP.
and you trying the Apex was something good? The flex, everything.
Yeah. Oh, that was sorry. That was us making the electrical mountain board. That was my first time actually soldering stuff together, which was fun. But I'm so sorry. Can you repeat your question again?
When you was with these guys, you see this the Apex boards.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Billy.
Yeah, there's Billy. He was helping me tune it because I was having
Hmm.
difficulties with tuning it. And he was teaching me how to do that.
Hmm.
So you got to bend your knees and you got to keep pushing forward and don't be afraid of accelerating.
No battery.
Yeah. So just everywhere that I went, somebody was ready to teach me something new and I was ready to learn. I was great. That
But
was,
don't you think that was let me put it the best way. They see that you was interested to
yeah.
to
Yeah,
learn.
definitely. Yeah, because I was definitely curious. I think they saw that I loved learning, and I was asking a lot of questions about my form because I feel like there's so much potential to it, but you have to learn how to do it right. And for somebody that I guess for me like loves learning, there's different forms of doing it, and there's certain ways that work for some people versus others. And I know that I'm not the heaviest person, so
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's a little more challenging for me to like try and um, replicate what people are telling me to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So some people can just with their hip turn the whole board over. And I was like, nope, nope, I can't. Like, I don't have that kind of like leg strength. So try to figure out different ways of doing it. Um,
It was easy for you to be in England on the left side.
no, it's not easy. I kept going on the wrong side of the road.
I was seeing right now that,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
again,
I kept
left.
going on the right side. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm keep going against traffic. I need to stay on the left side, stay on the left side. I kept forgetting that they ride on the opposite side. And I was worried actually when I first came back to the States that I'd be riding on the
Mm-hmm.
opposite side again. So it took some getting used to, both getting there and
And the linker too. You are in a different. You are riding in a different side of the car too.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. So I'd see the bicyclist coming and I'd be like, I'm so sorry, excuse me, excuse me. I was
How do
tempted to
you see? How do you see the cultures? Because you was in Europe. Europe is lots of cultures, lots of countries, and you've been in lots of countries.
yeah.
How was for you? Was easy to change from UK, then Czech Republic, Switzerland, Germany, France. You was in so many countries. How do you see the cultures, the impact, the persons?
I
Was
So that's something really big that I noticed actually. Everyone is very kind, right? Very warm within the community, but also it was interesting to see the diversity and how much more challenging it is to get together with your community here with PEV in Europe, right? So
Mhm,
here in the States, I've noticed it's super easy to get a group ride going, and there's people living down the street or a few blocks from you and easy access to the community. Whereas out there in Europe, people travel for like an hour and a half just to see the next, PEV rider. So for example, David Pilney, right?
mhm,
There's not a rider near in his town. Like he's the only one, and he has his own like intro to speed track. His own T track that he does and
mhm,
practices. When we got there, he was like, "You guys are the first guests that I've ever had, on my T track," and
mhm.
it's crazy to me how much more challenging it is to have that kind of community and group rides out there because it's so segregated and separated in distance, right? Even when we were in Switzerland, we were talking about how there's villages, and for some people, just traveling 10 minutes is too much. So
Mhm.
you have to go into specific areas that are actually allowed and are legal, right? So that was another big one. With London, it was illegal to ride in London.
In Switzerland is illegal.
Right. And
Germany is illegal.
exactly. So that was another thing. We had to be cautious of where we were riding and staying off of the main streets, staying out of the cities and going off-roading, going off into
Mhm,
the mountains because we would be afraid of the actual terrains, or not terrains, but the police
mhm,
impounding some vehicles. And there was a day where that actually ended up happening. We had one of our riders' boards getting impounded,
mhm.
and they didn't have insurance, so we weren't
I
able to.
was, I was, I was for you seeing that happen.
It was devastating actually because it was a really good writer who was going into some intro to speed sessions with us, and
Mhm,
it was heartbreaking that it was their one board that they loved and cared for, and just because he was riding out on the street and had bad luck doing it, they just took out the board. So it was very sad. Oh, this is when we got to Czech Republic.
mhm.
That was the first time I saw another NASA Pro board. That was like, there's only 100 of these in the world, right?
Uh-huh.
So I was like, oh, there's another one. So
Yeah,
that's
I said it was having problem. Mike was having problem with finding it wants the involve white tubes, the
hmm
white tires, and it was not easy because delivering from involve was very difficult
right.
from this. And I find for him,
Oh,
and
nice.
is a very good rider and is very active
Right, right.
rider too,
We're
and
here with
that is very nice to see a kid.
yeah. That family was very excited about the e-skateboard and they wanted their kids to try it out. So
You lots of people don't imagine, but it's not easy for me to see that this board that we passed, because that was a fantastic friend from us who died.
Mm.
And he was owner of this company, this boards. He was from Belgium, and
Oh,
it was 2 years I didn't see it. If you are guys out there, if you have depression and you have problems in your life, speak with persons. He was not a person who was able to speak with anyone, and it took his life away very young
I'm so
because of
sorry.
depression. And that is a good thing for us always to talk. If you have a problem, you have friends around you, try to talk with them. I know it's not easy, but we have to be. And that was a company that closed. Lots of companies closed the doors of the skateboards in this year. Lacroix, Kelly boards too. We have lots bigger companies, and I hope that the DIYs don't stop. I hope that Involve now with the new one, Onsa, X-Way, lots of companies coming now new. I hope that we can have more and more companies here, because we need it. And the DIY is very important. I love the DIY boards because you have the chance to do your board with the parts that you need. But I think there is other boards like the X-Way, the one you was always riding, with the four motors. They are very good machines. The new Onsas too are very good. Now the Involve is coming with something new. There's lots of persons don't want to go DIY, just want to go and ride, and that is the easy way. How was for you going from Paris? Because Paris, I think that was like a big surprise. You was not waiting to go to Paris, huh? And then one moment to another, Tilo, are we going to Paris?
I think it was I had messaged City Surfer Corey. I was asking him if he had known anybody in Paris, and he told me about Matt. And
Mm-hmm.
Matt wasn't in town when we were first going, but he connected me with the PEV crew in Paris. So they told us that there were they meet up every Tuesday, and so we were in Germany, I think, on Monday, had to go to Paris on Tuesday to be back in Prague on Wednesday. Um, yeah. And we were just going like back and forth to make sure that we got this group ride with the Paris crew. And then he
And the
came back.
weather was good in Paris because
It
we
was.
was talking. I was talking with Tilo, and I say, yeah, I think it's going to rain or something like that, and the weather was fantastic.
Right. Right. Yeah. The weather was really good.
Oh.
Because that was, I think, during the time that the Czech Republic race, the XC race, was canceled because of the weather,
Mm-hmm.
and we
One
had
week
to
later.
come back. Yeah, 1 week later, which was great. Yeah, this was actually the night that it got canceled. We were going
Mm-hmm.
up. We were going up the garages, just turning on the light one by one. Yeah, X series postponed due to rain, so we were wondering what we were gonna do. We ended up just going to Dan's place and making a pool party. And yeah, he has a green garden like
Uh-huh.
in his backyard. So he ended up making us a salad with blue bell peppers and tomatoes and kale and spinach. He just got everything from his backyard. He's like, we don't need to go to the store. I have everything we need right here. That's Dan, yeah. So he was just showing us his home.
David to
David,
everybody.
right.
Beautiful country, guys. Go to Czech Republic is beautiful.
Yeah, he ended up giving us a tour of Prague and really cool restaurants out
I,
there.
I just going to tell something. I was in Prague the first time, and I was for the first race, and I'm living in Germany, and I'm used to be careful with the police. And then I was 7 o'clock of the morning. I said, okay, maybe it's no police. I'm going to ride in streets of Prague, and maybe I'm going to have luck, and I'm not going to see. And I was with my Lacroix riding. I don't know, maybe 55 to 60 kilometers per hour
Oh, wow.
there. And then I looked to my left, and was the car of the police looking to me, and my heart was like, because I know, okay, I'm going to have problems. And the police was like, and I was like, oh, that is something that I was not expecting,
Yeah.
because Europe is not easy. And in Czech Republic, then later on in the evening, I seeing guys making deliver in AUCs,
Mhm.
and I see that they are very open for electric. They are not so, if you're not doing stupid things, and I think it's a beautiful country. I have the opportunity to visit a lot of things with my PVs,
Right.
and I recommend to everybody to go there.
Yeah, I remember when we were crossing the border between, I think it was Austria and
Mm-hmm.
going into Germany. I just remember we were
Mm-hmm.
headed to Germany. We were stopped by the police, and we were very like nervous about why we were stopped. So like Tilo was like pacing back and forth, and I ended up making friends with the police and asking for like a picture at the end of it. And I was, because there's nothing to be afraid of. We did nothing wrong. So it was really funny. We ended up talking about like their horses, their kids, and like their family, and just like having
Then you
fun.
go to Switzerland where everything is illegal.
Exactly, exactly.
In
Because
Switzerland is very difficult. Oh, what happened here?
everything closes so early. Oh, I put a stick on his shoe.
Okay.
And he was trying to get. He's like, "What?" It's like, "What? Why is there a stick in my shoe?" I ended up putting a stick in Fabian's shoe.
And seeing so much things, I was very nice to have you here. I think the first time you try uh, that was good. What happened here too? Yeah, 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 yeah.
We were just trying burnouts. So I've never done a burnout before,
Uh-huh.
but they wanted to do burnouts with the wheels, and I was like, "Oh yeah, let's do burnouts." How do you do it? And I was essentially being taught how to do burnouts. But
How do you see the new machine from Onza? Not this one, the other one Tilo was riding.
it says, yeah, yeah. No, that one was very, very. So again, I'm a light rider, so I know for
Mm-hmm.
me it wouldn't work extremely well. I think it works very well for heavier riders.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's really fast, really strong, extremely powerful when you're going off. Difficult for me to turn, but again, like the bushings were not tuned for me. So I was able to accelerate, be very stable as I was going on it, like 20, 30 miles an hour. Um, so it was really, really good. But just couldn't turn again because it just wasn't set up for me when I was trying it out and testing it out. But that board, I actually talked to somebody here in the US when I came back about Boa Bao, I think his name
Mm-hmm.
is. Um, and I was telling him about the board, and he ended up buying one here in San Diego. So we have an Onstra board down
Rider.
here. Yeah.
Don't forget that Billy is very good rider too. Huh? Lots of people don't
Oh,
know Billy, but
extremely good writer. Yeah.
Billy is a very stable guy.
Hmm.
Uh, don't do stupid things, and he makes good times. Lots of
Yeah, I think
people.
there were three of us. So it was
And I was Scotland.
oh, Scotland. Scotland was gorgeous. I ended up doing the Scotland, yeah, Scottish Highland trails for
I
four
was
days.
there this year too
I was just
with the one wheelers.
backpacking. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, you talked about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I
That
was
was
there
cool.
the event from them.
I
That is
wish I had
beautiful.
a mountain board when I was there because it would have been a lot quicker. Not it
Was a
wouldn't have.
lo- was a lot of mountain borders there too. Was
Hmm.
good. Was fun. Was something, and it's a beautiful, very beautiful there.
Yeah, the sunsets were glorious. Sunsets and sunrises because we would camp out in the middle of the mountain and
Police in one side, police in the other side.
yeah,
What
that
bad
was the
situation.
guy. Yeah, that was the guy whose board got impounded, and he was able to get
Uh,
another board from the community.
yeah,
Mhm.
that is always very bad. That is always a bad situation. Um, Now I want to show this here. Let's go. You put together today a video. Was the first time you ride AUC?
That was the third time technically, but the other times were very short as well. So technically third
But
time on an EUC.
so heavy AUC
Very,
because
very heavy EUC. Yeah.
so this is what was you look we was riding off road.
Very muddy. Very, very,
That
very
was
muddy.
very muddy.
And we
That is
kept,
Ralph.
yeah, I think you guys were trying to stay in front of us so that we wouldn't
Uh-huh.
get mud on you. Because every time you were behind us, we'd get mud all over you guys. And we were like, all
I
right.
was at one moment you put me completely.
Yeah, you were just drenched in mud. And you're like, all right, I need to stay in front so I'm not completely filled from top to bottom with mud. But also, your food was so delicious. Like every time we went over to your house, every time you had really good meals. So genuinely appreciate you and your family, your wife, so sweet, and kids. Thank you for
Come
everything that.
on, you was so nice, and Tilo, like I always tell, Tilo is a good friend, and was a pleasure to have you here. And I hope that you enjoy Europe, because I know that my friends when they go to USA they are always well take care, and they always come very happy from there. And that was the only thing we can do for you, and just for you to have a little. He was traveling all the time. He
Yeah.
was not stopping. And I say, my God, you and Tilo, you're going to see all Europe in. It's like the 80. What's the name? 80 days around the world.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was like something like close to.
Well, what he
And
was saying is that like it's very rare to have people that do, electric mountain boarding and racing and e-skating, right? So it's like three different things. And I was like, well, I'd love to do all three. So he's like, well, let's just do like an e-skate tour of Europe. And I was like, dude, yeah, I'm down. And yeah, he had the boards for us to try out, and I was able to travel out with him. Oh yeah, that was at ESK8 That was a lot of fun. That was my first time racing on a stooge board. That was really fun.
I'm very happy. I have the pleasure to have, I think, here
Uh-huh.
because I was not there.
Uh-huh.
Normally I was to be there, but and Tommy and another guy sent me
Oh, nice. Oh, that's great.
the. Let me just change here. Let's go like this. They send me,
Yeah. It's hard to see.
uh, and they put my name and no
That's
limits. I
really
think that
cool.
is a very special thing. I
Yeah.
think ESK8 was something created for a company that uh, a boards. I
Mm-hmm.
think is M boards.
Yeah,
M
with my
boards was created by him. That he created this year, 1 year, and I think nobody was expecting to come so many people. They are lucky to be in Las Vegas because it's easy for everything. But
right.
we have to think this year helped to change again the skateboards, uh, put a little life again because we was losing lots of space, and then we have to go to the Moe and the team, Mario, everybody was there
Right.
because they are very. Oh, what that I'm doing here? Let me change like this. We just have to. I was for you meeting Moe, this team,
Uh,
trying the trucks from these guys, trying the boards from these guys.
well, so like I said, I met Mo about a year ago when I had first started. And I met his team way, way earlier on. But I never had the courage to try and ask about trying out a stooge board. Again, the very first one I did try was actually Brandon's Redbeards. Um, and they were talking about how he wanted to create a smaller board with one motor, and he wanted me to try it. And I was like, I'm down to race it at ESK8 and so, to my knowledge, I think that board had been created maybe a week before ESK8.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it was still being tuned. There was still like quirks to it that needed to be fixed. But I know like Mario had written it, Brandon had written it, and I was just eager to try it. So I knew it was like a prototype, and there was things that still needed to be fixed. And I didn't get as much time as I wish I could have on the track with it, but it was a lot of fun regardless. So I learned a lot from that experience. And Mo has always been so kind and sweet. And I always hear that I'm like the little sister to the team. Like they all care about me and want to help me out, and I
Don't
love
you
them all.
think? Don't you think that you care a lot out for the community? And when we see that from the other side, a person who loves the sport like we love, that we don't want to lose them, and maybe they want to not lose you because they see that you are important for all of us, because you have to think you have not so many years of riding, and what you travel, what you've seen. Lots of riders never have the chance like you had to come to so many countries, so many events, so many people to know so much machines tried. You try from small boards, big boards, off-road boards, big tires, small tires, raining, streets, racing. Uh, we can put in 6 months for a person like you who come from something maybe you never wait to try it, a skateboard, and one moment to another you have so many friends, so many people who love you, who like you, and so many people don't want to lose you. And now today you are pushing for this sport to bring ladies. We need ladies, we need kids too, because they are the future. And pushing so much for this sport, don't you think we need you? It's not you who need us, is us who need you.
That's
I
very
think that is the best answer for everything. I'm a very person like this. I always see the persons, and I always see if they are just writing to show something or to make something for the media, and then there is the other person, they just want to have fun, enjoy it, have a good time. And sometimes we have so much stress in our lives that we just want to have a little freedom and fun, and find person that love the same like we love. And sometimes it's not easy. And if we have a person like you, we have to not let you go in a good way.
yeah. I appreciate
We
it.
have
Thank
to have you like something. Maybe you are a very intelligent person, lady, and I think you're going to bring lots of ladies to this sport, and we need you. I think the community need you, not just the skateboard or motorboard, but everything. Your idea, what we speak in private, I think is something that is the future, bringing more ladies to this sport. Maybe 1 year in, you just see how many ladies now are riding and winning races. That is not easy. We
It's
don't have that here in Europe. It's not easy to find a lady here. We are now grabbing some of them, like you. Today, I'm going to show two other ladies to see this video. And that is what changed, because lots of ladies, oh, that is what we speak in private. Oh, that is a sport for men. It's not for us. No, that is not like that. That's a sport from everybody. And you're going to fall, you're going to stand up, and you're going to. Is life. Just enjoy it. And if you enjoy this sport, try it. Go to an event like you. Try it. Maybe something for you. Don't like it? Try another one. But the community is beautiful, and I think most of them are positive. I know that USA are very because you are legal there. It's easy for you to ride everywhere. Here we have to be careful. Most of the countries, because legislations, we have to be careful. There is other ways, but if we make this sport like you has the possibility this year to come here and to be in so many events, I think next year is going to open the door for more events in Europe. I think we are going in a right direction,
right.
and we need more persons like in Europe like you. And I think maybe is something that in the future maybe they can talk to you and say, okay, I want to help the guys here in Europe. Which person should I talk? And we have to send it to you, or to your friends, or to your groups. Yeah, I'm just speaking this because some girls who are here in Europe, like one wheelers, and ladies who ride. You see, most of the ladies who ride here in Europe is AUCs and one wheels, and some of them comes to us and say, guys, what can we do? And then I say, hey, go to this ladies in USA, they ride one wheels, and there's this group, see what they are doing and speak with them. And then they come back and they say, okay, I speak with them, we can do this. And that is the same thing like the skates.
Right.
For 2 years, believe it or not, I was thinking we was losing the skateboards, the electro skateboards. This year, with all the events you guys made it in USA and the events made here in Europe, I don't think the same. I think now is the doors are open again and they are very strong. And with your videos, with your ideas, with your style of riding, with these beautiful ladies like let me just change. This beautiful ladies comes to this event and having so much fun. Something simple that you can make it big. Let me just come. I think it's here in the
Yeah.
Portuguese. Yes. Uh, just seeing all of them come together
Right.
uh, is not easy, and
Right.
is something that we have to have lots of respect. And I I tell to all the ladies around the world and in Europe, if you want to ride, never try it. Try to find a group wherever you are. If you are from San Diego, contact the ESK8 group from San Diego. And if you are from LA or if you are from Europe, contact these groups in Facebook everywhere. Just tell it, I would love to try it. Most of them, they has AUCs, they has one wheels, they has skateboards, mountain boards. Go there. Say, I would love to try it. Just to have the chance. Don't buy something before you know what you're going to, because sometimes you're going to expend the money. Is very expensive, and sometimes it's not what you was expecting, and then you expend the money and you are frustrated, and then you said, oh, I'm going to give up. That's why go to a group ride. There is lots of good people there who are going to take care of you and going to show you the right way to do it. Like you was telling, you speak with everybody. Everybody take care of you in the beginning. And today you are here.
Yeah.
And we need more. What is for you? We are now close to 1 hour, 30 minutes, but I would like just to know one thing.
Yeah.
What you love to see in the future, like in USA now in this moment, what you love to see in 2024? What is your seals, or what is your expectation? What you love to see it?
Well, I'm going to comment on something you said earlier with people coming out and learning. It's something that has always helped me and something that I always push forward for anybody or like individuals that are trying to learn and just don't know where to start. The intro to speed sessions, whether you're in LA or in San Diego or in San Francisco, there's so many intro to speed chapters that like Mario and like the team have been working on getting different chapters. Like we started one in London when we were out there. Like there's intro to speed sessions for people to learn how to use a board, and not just board, but one wheels, EUCs, like any kind of PEV. And most people bring extra boards and extra PEV items for people to try out at intro to speed sessions. So if you're too afraid of going to a group ride because there's so many people and you won't be able to keep up, intro to speed sessions are a good starting spot because they teach you the basics and you go at your own speed and you're not leaving the parking lot. You're in a stationary location and you go at your own pace, off the track or on the track, and you have somebody there to teach you. So just try to find the closest intro to speed chapter to you to try and learn, and reach out to the crew there and let them know what kind of PV you're interested in trying out. And we'll make sure that we have somebody there for you to try out whatever PV you're interested in or closest to that. But yeah, so future wise, I think one thing that I learned the most out of this entire year and all of this traveling is that the most important thing in this whole community is that we're essentially family. Like, whether we're in San Diego, whether we're in LA, whether we're somewhere in Europe, like, we're all just one huge PEV family, and we need to like support one another, but wherever we are, whenever we see one another, because um, regardless of like politics or name brands or anything like that, like, we all love one thing, like riding, but whether it's skateboarding, with the ESC or anything like that, we're all doing something because we enjoy it and we enjoy each other's company. So we're doing the sport because we love the sport and the people in it, and we're only growing from here, and we need to take care of one another. Um, Moving forward, I can see, like I said, like the female numbers growing, and I would love to see in 2024 like having like multiple divisions of females, more than like 12 or even 20 or 30. That would be ideal, but I know that's too much in a year. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. But
I
I'd
think
love
we
to
are
see that
positive.
grow.
I think you're going to achieve it. I think there's more ladies out there. And if you are in USA, if you have the chance to travel more to maybe to just the events, because I think the race is going to be fun to see more ladies there. In the EUC, there is a big community of ladies already riding together, but I think there is lots of ladies who ride skates and they are afraid to come out. They are riding maybe with friends, but they don't show themselves. And I think it's time for you to say, okay, I want to race. I want to go. Sometimes it's not the race. Sometimes it's just seeing new persons, learning, because we learn so much with each other. There's so much things that we learn every day riding. Like today, I'm having the interview with you here. I'm learning about so many things, and I think it's important. But I would love to show something to you that I was having here in the back, and
Okay.
maybe you don't remember this. And I think that is something I'm going to say thank you to Ralph first of all to making this.
Uh-oh.
And Ralph is one of the guys who has always the camera in his hand. He's
Yeah.
360. I don't know how many he broke, but he's always. I think if you have the chance, guys, go to his channel. He do it for love, not for the, uh, not to make money. And most of the times we have. This was very wet, guys.
Very muddy.
Very, very. That was bad. And Ralph is one of the big guys from our community creating stuff for all of us. How was the sensation for you to come? Because that was very late in the afternoon. We just say, okay, we're going to go for a ride.
Yeah. It was I think that's when I got stuck because the tires
Uh-huh.
were stuck on the mud, and I was like, oh my goodness, I gotta get out of the mud pile. But I was strapped in, so I
Uh-huh.
didn't like unstrap myself and get muddy shoes. I was like, I need to jump and jump and jump. I
And
couldn't go forward or backward.
and how is the sensation for you to see that like mountain boards, most of them you can go back and go forward. Not every board you can do that.
I appreciated it. I really did. I started to learn to appreciate the ability of going backwards, and not have to take off.
That was just the beginning, guys. That was just that was very, very bad.
Yeah, this was like within 5 minutes of going into the trail.
That was indirect in the beginning. It was all everybody was like, "Ooh," and each time you guys with the skateboards push it and get stuck, we was all of us all. Uh,
That's so funny. It was great.
Look, Tito is pushing you with his.
Well, we weren't sure if we should try again or go a different route, but I
Yeah,
was
but
like, we
you
just
made
need
it, huh?
celebration. Yeah, yeah,
Then
yeah.
I send you guys to some places that was not very good. Then we have to go back, go forward,
At
and
one point, right, there was like a tree in the way, and
yeah,
like
yeah, that was like
the
trees.
trail
I
ended
think
again.
we didn't know where we was anymore. was like just riding and riding and riding. And look at this. There's no way here you can go.
Right. They're just like we would ride and there'd be tree trunks everywhere. Be like, all right, next trail, all right, next route. That's a dead end. Let's turn around again. It was just exploring this random forest. It
This
was
was
so
like
fun.
exploring, but most of the time, I would love. We see Ralph here is a fantastic rider, and look what we have to do.
Oh yeah, this was the tree trunk that we jumped.
Yeah, and you have to take. That is the problem when you have the bindings in your board. You have to go out. You have to uh,
Like unstrap. You gotta unstrap.
unstrap everything and then put it. Because lots of people think that is just riding, but that is not just riding. You have to take everything. You have to put everything. Let's put it here a little more to the front. That is to go up.
I think we were strapping back on at that point.
Yeah, you are strapping your, and but we found that there is no way out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see. Okay, that is no way. I think here is when Tilo fall.
Well, like I said, he fell a lot. Like
If he's always falling,
he's always
but he's
falling.
always laughing. That is the
Yeah,
beautiful
no,
thing.
that's the best part. That's the best part. And he keeps pushing through, like no matter what. Which again, like helped, right? Because it's like if you're not falling, you're not pushing yourself. That's always my mentality.
Yeah, on the big thing for everybody to understand that was like something that we was not prepared. We just made it. Okay, we decided in the last minute. Let's go there, and let's have a ride. But we was a little lost. I was trying to because sometimes if you go with a AUC, you cannot go with a skateboard. But uh, and I was forgetting I was with the AUC, and there is two persons with skateboards that you don't have so much space.
Right. Because you guys do these like ridiculously sharp turns with the EUCs, and we're like, all
Yeah,
right, well, we have the board, so we have to find a slightly wider turn.
and for us, is sometimes it's like, okay, oh, there is a skateboard there,
Yeah.
and then we see, okay, that is worse. You and we
Oh
have to do like
my
that was
gosh.
bad here.
Yeah, that was really bad. Like he couldn't even do that with the EUC. That was so muddy. That was
Look
so
at you
muddy.
do it. That is so nice.
I remember that. I was like, I don't want to take off my shoes. It's gonna be so muddy. We have to push through.
Uh,
Oh my gosh.
I
That was
think it's like this. Is something different. That was a very nice day. In end, happened what happened, but that is can happen to the AUC this weekend. Was the guys with the AUC and to AUC was broken, and that is that happens to skateboards. That happens to everything. But with this weather like this, is impossible for you to achieve.
yeah.
We with this. Look at you. You was
Yeah, I
like
ended up
the
just
board. The board was not anymore. But for you, that was a little more. How can I say? It was like a new experience for you to
oh,
having.
extremely new. Yes, yeah. So with the board I have at home, I try really hard to maintain it, keep it clean, not put it anywhere near water.
Mhm.
I every time I ride it, right, I get the
Yeah,
the gun, yeah, the
yeah.
little to like clean it up. And in Europe, everyone's like, yeah, we ride in rain, so let's go out in the mud and let's go out and
We
get
are
dirty.
used
Like,
to. That is 8 months of bad weather. Maybe with luck, 3 to 4 months good
right,
weather.
yeah,
That's why.
with anybody's board that I was trying, I was like, "Are you sure you're okay with me riding in the rain? Are you sure you're okay with me getting it dirty?" They're like, "Yeah, that's what it's for. That's go get it dirty." I was like, "Okay,
That is
let's do
normal here.
it."
And Ralph stays all the time with his board in his hand. Let's see. Look.
Oh, another muddy area. Oh,
Look.
wait.
Look, Rob. Rob is always, he loves that when the people fall. Yuri is our a fast rider. And, oh, here, I think here is where Tilo falls again. Yeah. I don't know what Tilo was trying to do. Look at you. Oop. And you are not heavy,
This
huh?
was uphill. Yeah, this
Yeah,
was
yeah.
going uphill. And there were branches. There was like a bunch of
Here
branches on
you
it.
pass Tilo. And then Tilo comes after you, and then he try to go other way, and then he falls. I think it's this one. Let me see. I think it's
Yeah, I
this one
think
that
I'm pretty
Tilo
sure.
falls. Yeah, but here was the a little, that was the rest, and then it was easy for us to ride. It was not so. Oh,
Right there.
Tilo.
I think there it
Oops.
goes. Yeah.
Oh my god. Always laughing.
Always laughing. Yeah.
So that was a nice experience. I'm just going to put the end, I think. Uh, so this is the part that we are pushing a little more. That is the when he passed for you. Yeah. Having this experience, everything was the first time you ride this board from Tilo.
Yeah, actually this one was the first time I had rode that e-mountain board specifically, like on a group ride. Because we had just built it and we wanted to
Mm-hmm.
bring it out to try it out. Yeah.
Was heavy? Do you feel that it was heavy having
Definitely
the
heavy.
but
Yes. Yeah. Definitely heavy. But you need that, with this kind of terrain, you need something stable and sturdy that you can push and will hold your weight. So yeah, that was a really amazing fun board. That was very stable, very
this
heavy.
one is good. This part is very good. That's the part that half comes to you and you stay together. Yeah. Yeah, it was a very nice. First of all, thank you to Ralph to make so much
Oh,
amazing videos
definitely,
for all of us. He's
definitely.
always doing lots of stuff. And if you have the chance, I'm going to leave the link for Miss channel. He's always putting videos out. Most of the times, the completely right. That is lots of hours that you lose to find the best ways, best place, what the person is riding, because you have 360. You have to see all the points, what they are missing or not missing, and 1 hour, 2 hours. That is a lot. So thank you so much, Ralph, again. Uh, to you. Let's go to the end. But before we go to the end, I think we just have to talk about. I just want to talk about this. I think we talk about this is your completely year.
The journey, yeah, when it first started. Um,
Let's go because tell us a little about this.
so my helmet had just arrived. I got a camera, and I was really eager to try everything out. This was before I even had my gear. Went on pump track. That was my first time at Intro to Speed. So this is just my year as I was starting to ride and getting comfortable with the board. Um, Again, this is me. The only way I used to turn is by grabbing the board. So anytime I would turn, I had to grab the board. Um, so this was just my journey, right? After the 6 months going in to my ABS race and getting second place in podium, which was really fun in the novice. And then, yeah, first place in the women's at ABS that first year. There's Hope, who was always pushing me to get onto the T track and put my times in and pushing me to go to Intro to Speed. She was so sweet. And still to this day, a really, really good friend.
Do you think? Do you imagine is going to be this journey?
Oh, this was actually Smalls' birthday.
No,
We went to
that was
LA.
a very good. That was a very good event from
Yeah,
Small.
it was. It was. We were all in suits riding
Yeah,
different
yeah,
boards,
everything was very well dressed up.
very well dressed. Yep. I forgot what he called it, but everybody was in suit and ties, and that was just a lot of fun at the time. It was very, very fun. But
I love.
sorry.
I just want to say thank you, Smalls, for everything you've been done for the community.
He's
You
always
are.
been there. He's also another one person that was always telling me like practice, practice, practice. Because he would be
Hmm.
at the jam too. But like you say, right? Like he's always behind the camera. So he's always
Hmm.
the one taking the picture. Um, so Small has always been there from the beginning of my journey. It was his ride
My
that I
nice
started
helm.
off in. Oh, like that helmet so much. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, but
talking about just because we continue talking about what is the best helm for you.
so I've always liked the New Alters because you can personalize it. Like my favorite colors are white and purple. So
Hmm.
I wanted to have a helmet that allowed me the opportunity to customize. But then when I went to Europe and tried the half helmet, people were telling me like, do you always smile when you ride? And I was like, I don't think I've ever noticed because I've always had the full face that
Hmm.
covers the face. And so now I appreciate half helmets because it's like you get to show your happiness and express your
Hmm.
happiness as you're riding with the half helmets versus the full face. So definitely when racing, full face, full protection. Um, my New Olders is like my favorite helmet because I also get to listen to music inside of the helmet. Um, so whenever I'm racing, I always have like epic music going on
Hmm.
to try and just stay in the mood as I'm on the track, going as fast as possible and just staying focused or attempting to stay focused. That was when I was creating my mountain board here in the US. Um, yeah, intro to speed sessions again, very very helpful when learning.
Deck you was using? Trumpa deck?
That's the Super Beast. For the mountain board, yes, that was. It
This is a
was.
Trumpa deck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a Trampa. That was a Trampa
Yeah,
deck.
I love
Yeah,
the Trumpa decks.
I'm learning the differences and variations, right? And so I'm hoping to get an Apex deck.
Hmm. Do
So
you know
I'll be.
that the Apex deck is a German uh, deck?
Yes.
It's a
Yeah, yeah,
company from young guys from Germany.
yeah. I'm hoping to collab with. I talked to Lee, and then is it likes to call himself Big Ben.
Hmm.
Big Ben to see what specs can be used for the mountain board that I'll be building here in the US.
I
We were
think
talking about.
William Lee and Ben, they are fantastic. They
Mhm.
do a fantastic job, and they are doing amazing job. I think you're going to receive a nice board.
Extremely, extremely. Yeah, it was a blessing to meet all of them all at once
Hmm.
at the campsite. I didn't know who they were. I didn't know who I was going to meet. They were all there,
Hmm.
and I was like, "Y'all are amazing. Y'all are. It's so
Yeah,
inspiring."
Lee is a guy who was with his YouTube very active to help the community with the
Hmm.
DIY.
Hmm.
And today, of course, of his company is more concentrated to the Apex boards, of
Right,
course.
right, right,
Uh,
right.
and it is not easy when you have a YouTube channel and you want to uh, say something. The people is not going to believe you if you say Apex. Oh, you are the owner. Of course, you're going to say everything is perfect, everything is beautiful, and I think it was not the best idea. I think his channel was growing very good. It was, I think, he has 11,000 people already, and but I think he used the option or. Oh, I want to make a nice board, or I want to make a YouTube channel, and I think he wants to stick by his company and make a nice board for the riders. I
Yeah,
think that is a good
community.
idea.
Right.
And they are a good team, the three of them. I think
They
they
are.
are doing a fantastic job. And you see Tilo and most of the guys who has the Apex, they are very happy with the machines, and that is beautiful.
Right.
I think they are going in the right direction. So just putting to the end. Uh, Next year, where are you going to go? You're going to go again to the ESK8?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'll be there.
You think you're going to be okay again to race?
That one is an unknown because I got a concussion about a month and a half ago, and then
Okay.
I
I
ended up
see.
getting run over by an EUC like 2 weeks ago.
Oh
So
my
it's
god.
like the world just keeps tossing things at me and my head keeps getting hit. So unless the world doesn't want me to race anymore, I should be able to by ESK8. I just need to like constantly be wearing a helmet and just protect my brain. So
Yes,
unless
you have to protect yourself. Don't forget you are a fast rider. You go to your limits. I know that nobody likes to use protections, but today with the speeds that we are using, we have to be more protected. Your back, your body, because it takes time to come back. And seeing the other riding is not easy. And you stay there.
yeah,
Why? Why?
that's true.
The important thing, if you have the chance next year to come again to Europe, will be fantastic. If you don't have the chance next year, if everything is okay, I would love to go there because the guys are always, when you going to come, when you want to come. Let's see if next year I'm going to go there.
Will you be there at ESK8? Will we see you?
Normally, I was going to be there last year, but in the last minute was difficult for me to send the boards and everything
Hmm.
because I was trying to plan to maybe buy a board for Maui,
Yeah.
but the plans was not like you said. Sometimes the plans don't work like we want, and th- doesn't happen. Next year, I hope so. I hope
Okay.
that I have the chance to go there and go to Maui. The Maui, I would love to go 100%. I have to visit the guys from LA because I have interviewed lots of them. I have speak with lots of them. I have learned a lot with them,
Yeah.
uh, and it's important for me to go there and see all these crazy riders that love this sport so much, like me and you, and continue pushing. I just want to say before we go to the end, this weekend is going to be something happening in France. It's going to be like the last event of all of us in Europe. It's going to be like the end. There's two groups who came together. One is from Belgium, the other one is from France, and one of them I'm using today. That is from Mika. uh, is the Road Riders ESK8. They are the ones who pushing the sport a lot. That we don't lose the off road and street, but they are. Everybody is welcome to come. If you have a AUC one wheel, is going to be Friday. You can come, and they receive you up 4 o'clock of the afternoon. They're going to make a ride. They're going to make everything. Is everything prepared? It's going to be off road, street. Saturday is going to be lots of off road and street. Just charging, eat something. The important thing is don't stop, just riding. And Sunday is going to be a ride. Then we're going to go to the Paris, to the center of Paris, where this beautiful lady was there. And I think Paris is a beautiful city, and you was there, and we're going to all of us we're going to pass here. All of the riders. I don't know how many riders going to be there. I think it's more than 100 or maybe more. Nobody knows because the weather till next week was bad. Now the weather changed. We're going to have good weather Saturday and Sunday. That means it's going to come lots of riders. Uh, if you are in all around Europe, or if you come in holidays to Europe, if you need a board, I have lots of boards here I can share with anyone who wants to go there and have a nice ride, a nice weekend. Just come. I'm going to share later on the link. I want to thank very much to this. I want to thank to Tom and the guys from Blacklands Skate. They are doing the two of them together this event, and it's beautiful to see the groups coming together and organize events, not just telling, oh, that is my event. No, that is a community event. And I'm very proud. I'm going to be 3 days there with these crazy guys that they has a lot of knowledge, and I learned so much with them, and seeing so many cultures. What was for you the experience traveling inside of Paris?
Um, I I mean, I
because
love
it's
the
a
Eiffel Tower.
confusion. Of
Like,
course, yeah.
as an architectural student, like I really, really love and appreciate like the architecture of the Eiffel Tower. So my favorite spot is actually standing right under it because I can see the structure itself as it
Mm-hmm.
like the geometricness of it is just
Mm-hmm.
glorious. Um, but it was a lot more peaceful than what I would thought that it would be. It felt like relieving. Like I guess a little short story. A few years ago, I actually studied abroad and I lived in Paris for a couple months over a summer.
Mm-hmm.
And every weekend I would travel to different countries and do different things. But Paris was my hometown for the summer, and I always felt like anytime I listened to the French language, it was like I came home. I was safe. So when I was back in Paris,
Very, very nice.
since then, I just felt like I was home. Just like I said, listening to the French language makes me feel safe, very much so. So if I ever decide to live in Europe, it might be somewhere where the French language is being spoken.
That was
Oh, there's
wonderful.
smalls.
That is just amazing person.
Yeah, that was all
That
of us
is
at Holoflex. Really, really.
Haloflex push a lot too for the events there.
Yeah, it's I think the biggest like SoCal ride of the year where everybody comes together um, just to ride out, and they all dress up.
Ooh, she's there too. She's
Yeah, that was
fantastic.
at 3 o'clock in the morning. We were all hungry. Well, the event ended at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we were hungry by 3. So we're like, let's go eat some noodles. So we didn't actually get back home in San Diego till like 5 o'clock in the morning because we were just having too much fun in LA.
The important thing is you have lots of fun, and I hope the best of luck for you. It
Thank
was a pleasure to meet you. I hope that we're going to see each other uh, more times. Love to the community builders. Yes, of course. I want to say to everybody who came to see this interview, that is not the interview. She's a person who brings. She's like the name says everything. She's like a small uh, stars that we was all of us looking, and she came down here to help us now, and I think she's going to push a lot the side from the ladies who are maybe wanted to start to ride skateboards, and now they have the opportunity and they see an open door that they can say, okay, now I can go and have fun because there is more ladies riding, and I think you are very important today. I hope that you continue focus to help our communities and racing too, because you are a good racer.
thank you. Thank you so
You
much.
are very good. Sorry, but you are very good. I know that you are a very good rider. I hope to see you very soon again in Europe, if you have the chance. You know that everybody loves you here, and everybody is happy to receive you. And you are there is an open door, and everywhere you come, uh, persons like you, we need more and more. And like always, I think we're going to do another interview in maybe 1 year or something like that to see
Okay,
what happened.
sounds good. See what's going on.
I just want to leave the last words for you, for the community who is going to see you maybe this video later on, and if you want to leave a message for the not just for the men's but for the females who are with afraid, or maybe they are not sure if they want to try it. I think you are the example in 6 7 months what you achieve, and I recommend to everybody to go to his Instagram, where she has lots of photos, videos, showing what can happen in couple months. My, I leave you with the last words for the community, and whatever you want to say, I think everybody's going to listen and it's going to help a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody is almost always afraid of trying something new, like myself included. Even though I want to push myself and challenge myself, it doesn't mean I'm not afraid and I'm not scared. And especially with this sport, we fall, right? You don't learn unless you fall sometimes. And that comes with the experience. And that's why protection and gear is so important. You know, whether you're in a full jacket, right? For me, it was Beyond Riders and full face with the old, uh, yeah, it just, you have to make sure that you have protection wherever you go, depending on the speeds that you have. And not be afraid to ask questions. That's probably the most important thing aside from the gear is that question that you have has probably been asked dozens of times by other writers. And unless you ask the question, you won't have the answer to it. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to let us know what you are comfortable with, not comfortable with. If you're the only one who can push your comfort zone, don't let anybody else force you to do something you're not comfortable doing. And we're here for you with whatever it is that you need, whenever you need us, and however you need us. So if you need gear, let us know. If you need a board or unicycle or PEV, let us know. And we'll do whatever we can to connect you with the resources and the community members to guide you to whatever you need to push forward and feel comfortable and safe as you're riding and learning how to ride.
Yes, and we are learning every day. Don't think that you learn. Don't think that you are just riding and you know everything. Every day we learn, and the machines comes faster and faster. Technology comes better. Trucks are different. Tires. You need lots of information, and the best way is for you to reach the communities, people who can help you. Sometimes you think, "Oh, I know enough, enough to ride." Okay, riding is one thing. Going to big speeds is other thing. You need to know what you are doing. Use protections is very important. Protection is very important because today we are not talking about small speeds. We are talking about big speeds, and when you see you can hurt yourself or you can hurt other persons too. That is
Right.
not, sometimes it's not the problem that you hurt yourself, is
Right.
the persons you are around you. And
Mm-hmm.
I recommend always, please use your gears and look to the right, to the left, to the front, to the back, to the sides. Don't do stupid things. Sometimes is then you have to live with that your life if you hurt somebody or if you hurt yourself.
Right.
And have fun. This is a beautiful sport, and we are starting now. That is new. That is maybe the future. I go every day if I have the chance to go work and go and have fun. She is not new anymore. In 6 months, I think she has more knowledge than lots of persons who have 4, 5, 6 years of riding PVs because she takes the time to listen and learn with experience, riding. And if you have the chance, go to the group rides. I know that is lots of persons there who are going to take care of you, and they're going to take all the time to teach you the right way, to find the right PV for you. Maybe you think you can ride skateboards and you're going to see that is not the right one for you. And don't be afraid to say, no, that I don't want that. I prefer the other thing. If your friend is riding one thing, don't go but because your friend is riding one thing. Go what you love. That's the way you're going to have fun. If you just go because your friend has it, you're not going to be happy. And then you can make mistakes. That is always my opinion. I just want to say from my side, thank you so much for coming. I'm the first one to bring ladies here. I think it's important. That's why in 3 days we're going to have another lady here, and she's going to come and talk about how she came to the one wheeler, and she's going to talk about events that she comes, the sports that she made, and if you have the chance, come here and listen to her a little. I think it's good. She's a mom, but not because she's a mom, she cannot ride, and she has the best time. And sometimes it's good for you to have something to ride to take the stress of life.
This is true. Very true.
That is
100%.
just this moment that you need. And I think for you, riding, when you are riding your EVs, doesn't matter. Do you forget everything? How can you describe the experience at the moment you put your finger in this controller?
It honestly feels like I'm entering another world. Like I said, I usually listen to music inside of my helmet, and it's like the world outside doesn't exist. Of course, I have to be cautious of my surroundings and everything, but that's part of the reason why I love mountain boarding, because I'm just surrounded by nature. So just listening to music, feeling the floor, feeling the jumps, feeling the terrain, like I'm in my own world. I get lost and I love it because it just feels safe and secure and stable and just glorious. A mini escape to reality, but safe and fun more than anything.
I just tell to everybody, I'm a crazy guy. I love this sport, uh, and I'm a cook. Sometimes I have to work with lots of persons. Sometimes I get out of my work so stressfully, and I take my machine, what I have in this day, and I just take 1 hour riding. And when I'm finished, all my stress is,
Just gone.
and
Just
I cannot describe it. I just tell to everybody, try it. I don't want to push nobody. Enjoy the sport you make. Just have fun and forget about stress. Life is a stress. Try to enjoy it the best way. Don't forget today we are here, tomorrow we never know. Just
yeah,
have fun and leave a good message for everybody's out there. That's what I always tell to everybody. Be positive and forget about the negative things. For me, I just want to say again, thank you so much for coming here. It
of
was
course.
2 hours that was like
Oh
flying.
wow, that was 2 hours. Oh my
More
goodness.
than 2 hours. More
Yeah,
than
that
two
was
hours.
more than 2 hours. Oh, thank
That
you for
is
the
always
invite.
like this. That is always like this. The people who come here, you told me in private, oh, I'm so afraid.
Nervous. I said nervous. Like,
Nervous.
nervous.
I'm so nervous to make it. And I said that is always the first 5 minutes. Then you forget it. Just have fun and enjoy it. I have 308 now interviews with everybody, and it's so beautiful to listen to the stories. And I think most of the people forget about the beautiful thing to listen to each story is beautiful, not just writing. Sometimes it's for the people to know. Sometimes you are writing with somebody that you don't know who is this person. You just know that he's in the other side and you say hello. And I think these live streams just make sometimes easier for you to know, oh, I see your stream, you do that and you do that, and that way is easy for you to go to them and try to have a conversation. That way, maybe it's the same love for the sport. And I always tell you don't need to subscribe, you don't need to nothing, just share. That is free. That is in Facebook for all the groups. That is in YouTube. That is in Twitter. The important thing is for me is take care of your community or wherever you are. Doesn't matter if you are. I have before here riders. They live in one place. There is no more rides. They are alone. And today they tell me, Nelson, the video I found 3 4 friends, and now we are riding in a small village or and that opened for me something. And that's what is, if you are out there and you have a YouTube channel or something, if you want to make a life, you just need this, not expensive. You just have to go to the live stream is free by me, no, because I make live stream interview, but you can make 20 hours of interview free. Bring the riders from close to you, make interviews. That way you're going to bring more riders, you're going to make the community bigger. Doesn't matter if nobody knows you, maybe your community is going to know you. That way you're going to be bigger and bigger. And that's what I always said, or you do it for love or don't do it. If you are doing for clicks, close the channel. You are not doing for the community, you are doing for yourself. Then it's not the right way. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you, Nelson. Have a great evening.
Okay, for everybody's out there, thank you so much. Enjoy it,
Thank
guys.
you for
Don't
coming,
forget, in
everyone.
3 days, another interview, and then lots of videos from Paris. And enjoy it and have a good time. And we are